Loving yourself means you love the current version that you are today, not the version you think you will become, not the version you used to be, the person you are today. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Have Breakfast. I'm your host, Jaden Eliz. We're here to talk all things self-love. This season, no matter who you are, what you've been through, who you're with, it can be challenging for all of us. With Valentine's Day coming up, Galentine's Day coming up, just lots of holidays being thrown in our face, it's easy to remind us of the things that we don't have or areas where we're lacking. So this could be being single, not having a lot of girlfriends, maybe you're going through a breakup or you lost someone recently. It could even be things from your childhood that are bubbling up and starting to trigger you to where it's really affecting you and you don't really feel like you can enjoy this season. Because honestly, we lose sight of ourselves the older we get. We become different versions of ourselves. We maybe start to do things that we never expected we would be able to do, whether you're successful or you're not. We go through things and we change to the extent that you come out on the other side a completely different person. And these experiences shape who we become and how we start to act and our behaviors. And they can even be attributed to some of the new influences. So TikTok just came out a few years ago, and I know that's changed some of my behaviors personally, for the better and for the worse. These are things even like 7 years ago when I was just first starting out in college that I would have never even thought as an adult this is something I would do or something I valued or something that really mattered to me. So the point is, this season can oftentimes remind us of that change or feeling like we're not where we want to be in terms of our life. I know it's really cliche, but it's true. You are unable to love other people until you love yourself. We've been preached self-love for years over and over again. I don't feel like we have a true understanding to know what it really means to love yourself. Loving yourself means you love the current version that you are today, not the version you think you will become, not the version you used to be, the person you are today. The body you're in today, the hair you have, the makeup you're wearing, the clothes you're wearing, the lifestyle you have, the people that are around you. All of that is currently happening in your life, not how you anticipate things happening, what is going on right now. And that doesn't mean you have to be completely satisfied with where you're at, but you are able to love the version that you are and you are showing up as today. And for a lot of us, that means we are currently struggling with self-love, because loving yourself is not everything is perfect, everything's going great. It's also recognizing where your shortcomings are, being able to admit you're wrong, taking accountability for your actions. When you love yourself, you are able to truly center your life around yourself. The boundaries that you want other people to respect, investing in yourself and your interests. That doesn't mean go spend a bag, go buy a bunch of stuff. It can be making sure you have all of your dental appointments booked, making sure you're going to the doctor, taking daily walks. It doesn't have to cost money, but investing is the act of spending the time, money, energy, effort to make yourself better. And as you love yourself more, you're going to start understanding what your priorities are. As I've been on this journey of self-love and starting to set boundaries, which is hard for me, I am learning that my comfort is more valuable to me than someone's discomfort for a second. If you say a comment to me, it rubs me the wrong way. My past self, the self that doesn't love herself as much and doesn't show up for herself, is going to sit there, internalize that comment, let it marinate, not say anything, and just like hold that in for weeks or months or however long and just never say anything about it and just let it bother me. But now that I'm growing into loving myself and being able to set boundaries with people I love because I love myself, I'm able to say, what do you mean by that? Elaborate. What makes you comfortable saying that? I'm able to understand that something you said made me uncomfortable. I don't want to sit in that discomfort. So I'm going to confront it with you in a polite way. We're not beefing. Like, this is not that. But I'm able to set aside what I have internalized as other people's discomfort. The reason I'm not speaking up is because I don't want to make other people uncomfortable. But I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable that a comment was made about me. So I am going to put that aside of what I expect other people to think or how I think they'll react. I'm putting that aside and I'm saying something. People learn how to treat you from how you let them. If you continue to let people walk all over you and you never set those boundaries, they think that's how they can treat you. And to an extent, it is your fault because you are not allowing your self-love to take priority over other people's thoughts and feelings. And that's not fair to you. You don't grow in that experience either. And based on social media, you would think that self-love is just buying yourself flowers, getting a matcha, taking a Pilates class. Like that is the it girl self-care, self-love starter pack. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with any of those activities or doing any of those things. Actually, I encourage it, but doing the internal work is where you really learn to love yourself. All of these things are like a band-aid, right? Like it makes you feel better. It makes you feel good to go out and buy a new candle or to make sure that your flower vase is always stocked. But when the flowers start to wilt and the candle is gone, you are still there with yourself. You still have to face what you're experiencing. So if you are only taking care of the bare minimum stuff for yourself by putting a band-aid over it and patching it up and thinking, okay, everything's good, I can go out here in the world and I can date and I can be a great friend, that's not reality. You are also teaching people how to have a relationship with you. No one is going to do it better than yourself. No one is going to treat you exactly how you want to be treated except for yourself. So that's why it's so jarring that we wait to take care of ourselves last. You mean to tell me I could have the best treatment of my life and all it takes is me putting myself first? It's easy to say I'm going to put myself first until you're faced with a challenge where you really have to challenge that belief of, do I deserve to put myself first here and now? And that's a question only you can answer. There are times where you have to be a little bit flexible. Maybe you don't get to put yourself first in every single situation. Maybe you have kids, maybe you're taking care of your parents, whatever it may be, to where you can't always prioritize yourself. That happens too, but you still have to take some time of your day and make it dedicated to yourself. You have to do the work internally to understand who you are, what you value, and why you deserve love. Because if you don't do that work, you are going to start having negative friendships. You're going to start having negative romantic relationships. Because if you don't love yourself, you're also bringing that baggage to the table. A lot of people that don't love themselves will make rude, nasty comments, kind of like I was talking about earlier, where something's always wrong. There's always something to complain about. There's something to nitpick. There's something. There's always something. If you're on the receiving end of that, it doesn't feel good for you either. And if you are not in a place where you love yourself, it can challenge that belief that you may have where you are feeling confident, and that kind of shakes your foundation. When you love yourself, nothing can shake that foundation. Only you can shake that foundation. So as these Valentines and Galentines posts roll in and you see stuff on social media, don't allow it to falter your foundation. You loving yourself is enough. If you have other people in your life who love you equally, that's great. But you being your own Valentine is enough. You are always going to be your greatest love. So make sure you show up for yourself, do the things that you care about, do the things that make you feel good, and prioritize yourself as much as possible so you can continue on your journey of self-love. Can't believe it's Valentine's Day already. I'm glad January's over though. Truthfully, on a different note, I'm so glad January is over. I hope that this year gets better, but it has been a rocky start. And so if you are going through a lot, just make sure you give yourself grace during this time. We are truly in unprecedented times, and it's a lot to live through. It's a lot to experience at once. So make sure you give yourself some grace and time to process everything going on. I've also linked some other videos for you to check out that might help with your mental health and processing some of the things happening right now. And thanks for tuning into another episode of Let's Have Breakfast.